Alright, quick update on green Satoshi token. So it's not looking so hot for GST in the short term. All of our momentum indicators and oscillators are calling for another leg back down to the downside. I'm going to start off on the technicals on the higher time frame, talk about our prediction that we made in the past couple of videos, and then we'll be looking at the oscillators, the momentum indicators, and we'll be using these to formulate an opinion on where we think we're going to go down to next. So right off the back, we should be looking at our price targets from our past couple of videos. Now, 2 predictions ago, we were all the way up here at 24 cent, calling for the next leg down to be at 11 cent. Once we did come down, we came down very strongly, bounced on the 1.618, and this is why we said, now that we've bounced back up, confirmed the 786-618 as resistance, now this price target is probably going to be too conservative, and this is where in the last video at 18 cent, we were calling for a move down to 8 cents. So this was a 53% drop we were initially calling for and a 54% drop that we were calling for over here. We've basically hit both of these price targets over the head. So let's focus on the most recent one because this one, like I said, got hit. This was a basically 52.8% move we were predicting for. We moved down 50%. So you know, a lot of people may think that my price predictions are a little bit bearish. People have been saying that for, you know, my Ethereum predictions, my Solana predictions, my Bitcoin predictions, my green Satoshi token videos. But nonetheless, all of these targets, all of these bearish price targets are getting absolutely hit on their head. And now, obviously, as we've come down, we've basically hit this price target. You know, this was a 52% move, we came down 50%, so we've hit this target. Now we need a new price target. So right off the back, what you will notice is if we do zoom out, you can see this market structure play out time after time again. You have massive breakdown, bounce for a day or so, massive breakdown, bounce for a day, massive breakdown, bounce for a day, massive breakdown, bounce for 2 days. And what we're doing right now, let me clear up the chart, because we keep on doing this time after time again. And once again, we've had a breakdown, but this has been planning out for the past 5 days or so. I think if we go over to the 4-hourly time frame, we could find a line of best fit a lot better. This actually looks less of a bearish pennant and more like an asymmetrical triangle to me. Now we'll head over to the daily and see. No, this would actually be a perfect asymmetrical triangle, which would also correlate to the pennant of this bearish pennant. Now, I'm going to remove this price target because, like I said, we've basically hit this on the head, so we'll get rid of this. But nonetheless, bear in mind, this is the conservative way to draw it. If I wanted to draw it, I could have put it all the way up from this wick here, and even I could have drawn it from the start of this move. I'm being much more conservative by drawing it from right at this candle body close here. Let's see where the price target is going to be taking us down to. This price target would be down here at 2 cent. How far away is this from here? Okay, this is an 80% drop. So right off the back, I'm not predicting an 80% drop. I don't want to predict anything like that at this moment in time. I actually don't necessarily think that we would be going that low, but bear in mind, I'm just giving you the price target. Once again, just because the price target says that's where we're going to go does not mean that that is actually where we're going to go. For example, you can find a lot more bearish price targets drawing from macro bear flags, bearish pennants, which would already be at 0 for green Satoshi token. So if we were to move to the downside of this asymmetrical triangle, let's say we move to the downside in the next 24 to 48 hours. So the longer we take to break down, the less bearish the price target would be. This would be taking us down to 8 cents. So right off the back, this would be my next level to the downside. We do also have a 3.618 right down here, and we've got a double 3.618 right down here as well. So you've got a double Fibonacci right at this zone here. Let me mark it orange. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. I like to distinguish between Fibonacci targets and horizontal areas of support and resistance by making my Fibonacci's orange. So if you ever see an orange target or an orange box, this simply correlates to a Fibonacci somewhere on the chart. You know, we've deleted the Fibonacci from this just to clear the chart up a bit. But nonetheless, this is what's happening in the lower time frames. 4-hourly time frame, you are consolidating. You've got a breakdown A, B, C. You've already headed up. So, you know, to be honest, it's quite surprising that we've managed to head up to this part of the move already. Now, this asymmetrical triangle will be breaking to the downside by the 9th of July. So there is only 3 more days that we're likely to stay in this pattern, and I don't think we're going to stay in here for 3 more days. Now, number one, most of the time you break to the downside or to the upside of these patterns about 70% through the move. So, you know, drawing approximately 70%, we should be breaking out tomorrow or the next day if we're going to drag it on for a little bit longer. But we can even bounce in the short term. For example, I would not be surprised if we move up to 13 cent into the 4-hourly EMA ribbons before we take that next leg to the downside. And if we do head over to the daily time frame, okay, I don't think we're going to be moving this high. The daily EMA ribbons, the short-term moving average, 21-day EMA, is coming in at 25 cents. This just shows you how far away we are from our moving averages. This really just shows you how quickly and euphorically we've moved to the downside. Also, let's zoom out so we can see all of this bearish move that we've currently been witnessing. This is the 5-day bullish move that we've seen. This is absolutely tiny in comparison, and if we look back at where GST was really being bullish back down in these regions back in April and such, you know, these were big moves to the upside. This is pipsqueak volume, you know, this is absolutely pathetic what we're seeing right now. This is really not too much of a bounce whatsoever. Volume is not confirming any type of uptrend. In the lower time frames as well, you know, the volume is very stagnant since we have broken down into this. And you can also see, you might be wondering, how are we breaking down so fast when volume is so flat and so stagnant? Well, if you didn't know this already, I'm sure a lot of you do know this. Green Satoshi token is simply the utility token for the green metaverse token STEPN app. What does that mean? That means that if you're partaking in the STEPN ecosystem over on Green Metaverse Token, using their app, their Move to Earn, they are going to reward you in this utility token that we're talking about, Green Satoshi token. So right off the back, this is hyperinflationary. The more people that are partaking in the ecosystem, then the more rewards they're going to print, and subsequently the lower this will go. This is just going to keep on heading down very quickly if they do not put a max cap on this. Am I saying that you should never buy this and this is never going to pump? Absolutely not. I think when the markets start to get more bullish, I think I'm definitely going to be looking at GST to make some short-term moves. Now, I'm not a hater of this project, by no means. I'm not saying this is going to zero. I'm simply saying that, you know, for example, in the last video, we were predicting 55 and 50% drops. We hit them on the head. So, you know, as you can tell, the market structure is not bullish. You know, I've been making, and when did we make this price target? The 50% drop, we were calling for like only 1 week ago. And I was saying in the next couple of weeks, we'd be down at these regions. We made it down in less than a week. So from here, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and we made it down to these price targets. And on the 7th day, we almost came down and hit my second bearish price target. Remember, I said we were predicting a 52% drop in the second move. The most recent move, that was a 52% drop. We only dropped 50%. I say only, but nonetheless, obviously, right off the back, as we've been talking about, you've got a big support box down here with the 3.618 Fibonacci's. So, you know, even in the most conservative case, we would be moving down another 22% within the next week. The next level down from there is 28%. The next level down from there, which is the asymmetrical triangle breakdown, is another 30%. Now, I think 30% is too conservative. I think we're going down a lot more than 30% before we do find our bear market lows. So let's see what else we've got going on at this moment in time. Once again, did we draw from this price target before? Was this the 80% drop? Yeah, this is the 2.618 is a little bit too far down for my liking, so I'm not going to be focusing on this. This is the 1.618. Once again, like I said, I mark all of these fibs with orange price targets, so in the future I can just delete the fib off my chart, have it less crowded, and we remember this as a Fibonacci down here from our low to our high. With that being said, down here, 6.2 cent rather. This is what I would be considering the next drop to the downside, and once again, this is my most conservative price target. Yes, I've been talking about these price targets of the 3.618s, double 3.618s, asymmetrical triangle breakdown. I don't think they're going to hold. I think we're coming down to here at least, but quite interestingly, we've got a double 4.236 down here, right here. So if I mark that as orange once again, this is interesting how they both line up from this fib from this low to this high, and this fib from this low to this high. We've got a double 4.618 down here at 5 cent, and from where we are right now, I find this to be much more likely to be the next move back down to the downside. Now, I will actually mark the 2.618 because, you know, while I'm saying I'm not predicting this at this moment in time, would I be surprised if we had an 85% flush before we found our bear market low? I wouldn't be surprised. You know, once again, I've been calling for these 50% drops after 50% drops after 50% drops, prediction after prediction after prediction. These targets keep on getting hit over the head. So, you know, once again, saying that we're going to drop 54% is conservative for green Satoshi token, considering how much of a low market cap this has. So, right off the back, volume is completely stagnant. We do not have enough buyers stepping in to prop this up against the inflation. On the daily time frame, we already talked about this. You're miles and miles and miles away from your daily EMAs. 4-hourly EMAs, if we zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out, you can see we have not crossed bullish from the 4-hourly EMAs since we flipped bearish at $5.74. And this is when I personally actually flipped bearish on green Satoshi token. I originally got in on green Satoshi token round about these regions, around about $3 to $4 or so. If you go back to my videos, I was one of the first YouTubers covering green metaverse token, green Satoshi token. I got over 1000x on green metaverse token, but there's a time to be bullish and there's a time to be bearish. At some point in time, I will definitely enjoy having a degenerative play and moving into some of these move to earn tokens. Yes, these are a degenerative play. There is no way that you can say that these move to earn tokens aren't degenerative plays. They are absolutely degenerative plays. But as I always say on my channel, I don't love it, I don't hate it, I trade it. I'm a trader. I'm in these markets to make money. I'm not in these markets to hold on to altcoins for years and years and years and end up being someone else's exit liquidity. That's not why I am in these markets. So we flipped bearish on green Satoshi token at $5.77. You can go back roundabout to the 6th. It was either the 5th, 6th, or 7th of May. Roundabout this target here, roundabout 580, 570, something like this. Once the 4-hourly EMAs flip bearish, we flip bearish. Since then, as you can see, you know, I've actually forgot to remove some of these price targets from back here. You know, we were calling for these drops at $3, 50% drop, and then we were calling for, you know, 60% drops at $1.20, and now once again we hit the next 50% drop price target. I'm just letting you know that people have said, you know, this is too bearish for a price target, you're being too bearish. But when the price target gets hit, they never come back to the channel. So, you know, I'm not clowning people. I'm not making fun of people that were wrong on these predictions. I'm simply letting you know that this is a crazy market structure. We are in a crazy bear market right now. It is not the time to be bullish on these move to earns. They cannot function in a bear market. If you've done your research, if you've read white papers, if you understand how move to earns work, you understand that the only way that things like green metaverse token, FitFi, green Satoshi token, DFIT, Genome, Move, the only way these move to earns can survive, or let me rephrase that, the only way the price of these move to earns can continue to increase is if there is a constant onslaught of new buyers to prop up the price. These are move to earn tokens. Rewards get printed out of thin air, and if there are not new buyers coming into the market, you will see massive moves to the downside. How do we know this? Look at the volume. There is really not a large amount of buyers or sellers, but because there's not a large amount of buyers, because the buyers and the sellers are pretty much break even. I mean, if we look at this, we can clearly see bears are higher in control. If we switch over to the Heikin-Ashi candles to smoothen out the trend, you can really see bears are in control of this market structure, but not many bears need to step in to push the price of this down. I think if we head over to the weekly time frame as well, I just really want to hammer this in. Let's look at how long this has been dropping for on the weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks worth of getting battered to the downside. If you've been bullish in the past 9 weeks, then, you know, RIP, because it has not been the time to be bullish. Look at the volume, line of best fit. Volume is exponentially increasing. If we were drawing this like a scatter graph, this would be your line of best fit through the data. And the bearish volume is exponentially increasing in the higher time frames, which should really tell you that the bottom is not in. We need a large amount of buyers. We need a huge amount of volume in order to keep this moving up. And until we get out of this bear market, it is not the time to invest in move to earns. I've been saying this religiously for months now. Once again, we flipped bearish on this at like 570, 580. We've been calling for 50% drops after 60% drops, 50, 60, 50, 60. And once again, another 55% drop. This is what I see planning out in the short term. And honestly, the more I look at this chart, the more I'm not surprised if we do move down to 1.7 cents. So we talked about the market structure, all the bearish patterns, and once again, looking at the momentum indicators, looking at the oscillators, squeeze bomb is heading down, the money flow indicator is relatively stagnant on the 4-hourly time frame. I think it's much better to look at it on the daily time frame. You're seeing these tiny peaks in bullish momentum, and over on the MFI, you can say yes, we are heading up to the heart line right now, but you can also say that we've been in a crab market since about the 14th of May. The MFI, which is the money flow index, money flow indicator, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of just been crabbing to the side, going sideways, because like I said, the money in the market, it's really not been too euphoric. There has not been a high amount of sellers, there's not been a high amount of buyers. We're really just capitulating sideways, and until we get lots of money flow in, the inflation in this project is absolutely going to drown it. It's putting it basically, you know, its head is underneath the water, absolutely drowning, and until we get those buyers step into the market structure, green Satoshi token is not bullish. I will, once again, not hating this project. I've been looking at this objectively since like 570, 580. I've been telling you it's bearish. We're still heading down. This is a conservative price target. So if you are new to the channel, once again, warm welcome. I'm not a hater of this project. I'm simply a trader, and I like to leave my emotions at the door when I do my analysis. Look at the market for what it is. Looking at this market structure, there is no reason to be bullish whatsoever. If you do for some reason like this project for the long term, then for the love of God, at least wait for a trend reversal. If you were waiting for a trend reversal on the 4-hourly EMA ribbons, if you just waited for a bullish flip of the 4-hourly EMAs, you would have been sitting on the sideline since 570, and you would have been saving yourself a heap of money. That is all I've got for you today on green Satoshi token. While we are here, and as I do have my Twitter open, I am going to shamelessly plug this. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here at 618_cowboy. You can see very simply over on the description here what my Twitter is about. I really just share chart analysis, daily news before I get time to put it on YouTube, and memes. That is what I post on my Twitter. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it will be right here. And once again, if you don't want to search that in, it will be in the link down below. Also, if you do want to join the Discord and join the Cowboy community, make sure to head down into the description down below, and you will see the Discord invite. There's more than 800 people in the server constantly talking, so I hope to see you there. That is all I've got for GST, and as always, my friends, Cowboy out. Peace.